WFM 91.7.
Right, 8 minutes past 9 from Women Radio 91.7, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. Today is Thursday, day 30 in the month of November 2023. How are you doing today? I really do hope that you're well and good. Thank you very, very much for choosing WFM 91.7, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. Welcome to Panorama. Panorama is the radio program where ladies from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss, dissect, and disagree on topical issues. If you're joining us for the very first time, welcome on board. This is where we get to talk about national issues and issues that matters. My name is Blessing Agbeto, and yes, you can be a part of the conversation by calling us on 07000 917 917. Send us a text and a WhatsApp message on 0703 175 6537. Log into our website www.wfm917.com. Download the mobile app WFM917. Send your thoughts to our social media platforms WFM917. That is how you can be a part of the conversation. Joining me on the conversation this morning, I have Buki Femi Ajala. Good morning, Buki. How are you doing today?
Yes, Buki is doing great. We want to thank God for that. So how are you also doing? And to our dear Panorama family, good morning everywhere. And I hope you are all doing well. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for joining the conversation. It's the last day in the month of November 2023. By this time tomorrow, we're in December already, and about 25 days to Christmas. Are you excited at all?
Absolutely. Thank you for even reminding me that today is the last day in the month of November. So I had to quickly go and check to see, are you sure?
I am.
You mean that we are wrapping up 2023?
Gradually, yes.
You mean that we have spent 11 months. What else can we say than to thank God? In all situations. Yes, we might not have had it as we expected. You know, some bad things might have happened, some good things might have happened, you know, a mixed package of everything. But for the mere fact that we are alive, we have to thank God. I was somewhere yesterday, you know, to greet someone who just lost a husband. And this was someone that about 2 weeks ago, you know, I mean, people saw him, you know, full of life and everywhere. And suddenly we just had, and, you know, everybody, you know, had to rally around. And, you know, everybody was just talking about the good things he had done. I mean, I had worked with him in a team in church, and fantastic guy, you know, I up in the corporate sector, but you wouldn't know because he's very humble, you know, very humble. He works with one of the top 3 telecoms company, and very high up there. And we just said that this is life, you know. So we're wrapping up, and we're moving into December, 25 days more for Christmas. And before you know what is happening, once you hit Christmas, 2024 is already knocking.
Of course.
You know, so we just have to thank God. I just want us to see the positive things of life, that yes, you know, a lot of things have gone bad, sour, bitter taste in our mouth. But I mean, when you count your blessings, like that song says, count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. So I just want us to just, you know, take a seat back, you know, and count the things that God has done. Yes, list the things that were not too good, but you'll be amazed that by the time you begin, you know, to count, oh my God, you will shift focus and say, Father, I just want to say thank you. So let's just have a beautiful day, and let's look forward to December 1st, which is just Oh, less than 24
Just there.
hours. Wow. Wow. It is well.
All right, thank you very much, Vicky, for being a part of the conversation today. Okay, so I would like us to start the conversation with this one for you to be a part of the conversation. Remember, you can call us on 07000 917 917. Send us a text and a WhatsApp message on 0703 175 6537. Log into our website www.wfm917.com. Download the mobile app, the BFM 917. Sending your thoughts to our social media platforms, the WFM 917. That is how you can be a part of the conversation. All right, let's start with this particular one. Well, this video surfaced yesterday, and honestly, I was disgusted when I saw this particular video. I was really, really, really disgusted. So this particular guy, took out time to give the details of how he assaulted a girl sexually. Now, according to him, they were supposed to be together, and then by the time he pulled down, he gave a deep analysis. He pulled down his pants. The girl got scared. The girl said she's not interested. She's not doing, and then she pulled the girl to himself. He penetrated, and at that point the girl couldn't do anything again, and then he went on and on and on, telling his friends what had transpired, and somebody somewhere made that video and released it. Buki, where did we get it wrong? At what point are we supposed to raise boys who should know what it means when somebody says yes, when somebody says no, regardless, no matter even if they have been in a compromising situation, because they were together, right? But this girl said no, and there is no justification for violating her. There is no justification for violating her. Buki, what would you say to this?
Okay, I want to blame this on, I don't know, maybe I should blame it on society or blame it on the government, because government is part of society. I remember that was about 3 or 4 years ago. I visited the prisons under the Prison Fellowship of Nigeria. So there is a program we do, Sycamore Tree project, and it's about restoration, and we bring victims, not necessarily victims of the inmates, anybody that has been a victim, to come and talk, and they will be talking from how they were hurt and the things that happened. Some of them went to depression, some of them and all that, so that these inmates, particularly those who committed crime, would understand how the victims, feel. So there was a particular one, and that's why I'm citing this. He came to continue his service, his sentence here in Nigeria. But of course, he had finished it and he was healed, and that was why he came to actually tell us the story. So he said, Niger guy, he went over there, and then he saw this babe and he started talking. They were cool with one another. And then, of course, he invited the babe to his house. Okay, fine. The babe came. They were having drinks and all that. And then, of course, Niger boy, the next thing, once you give somebody a lady, their mentality, which has to change. I respect men that don't do such, and I celebrate them today, that they still respect women. But in this case, this guy just went about it the average Nigerian. So I wouldn't say that's average Nigerian, that after all, you came to my house, right? You were the one that came, you use your leg, you walk on my house, so that means you are looking for something now. And when the man wanted to now do the act, the lady said, no, I don't want it. So he thought it was the Nigerian babe speaking, Obviously, the person is not a Nigerian anyway. But, some Nigerian women, they want it and then they will say no. They will say no. So that was what he thought. And before the next day, he was arrested. He said he thought it was play. So he was telling us that, hey, No is no. That he is now telling men, when a lady, even when you are already about to, and the woman says no, it's no. Their system, their system has been designed that once the lady says, I told him to stop, or I told him I'm not doing, you understand? So they respect that. But here in Nigeria, no. You can actually see the disgusting thing, a shame on men, a shame on the family of that boy, particularly those who raised those boys. It might not, I mean, probably the mother is not alive, or maybe the father is not alive, but somebody raised him.
Exactly.
Right? You know, the shame he brought. And then even the person who is recording. So probably the person is recording, to show that this guy, has to be arrested. Maybe that's the way they live, and there is just they're just looking for a way to nab him, to have evidence or something like that. Because this is shameful, for goodness sake, it's shameful. So if you're just recording it, to brag about it, that superhero, then I think it's wrong. But if it's just to show that this is an evidence, come and arrest this guy. Because it's a pure evidence that can be used against him. And he went about, telling us graphically, and he was actually proud of it. And then some of his friends too were hailing him. Like you said, where did we get it wrong? We all got it wrong. How are we raising our men? How are we raising our men? In terms of even, accepting no. No is no. Yes is yes. Of course, on this issue of a woman, because the woman walks into your house, you understand, the woman walks into you invited her. That does not mean that she wants it. That does not mean she wants it. Even if the woman is in a compromising manner, whatever it is, that still does not mean that she wants it. Or probably she's dressed in a manner that is talked to. That does not mean that she wants it. It's an issue of asking and say, do you want it? Do you want us to do it? Yes or no? So that consent matter, we also need to begin to groom the men. And I salute NGOs, I salute, individuals that are grooming boys to men, because they found out that rape does not just happen. It happens because a man that was not cultured, a man that is not disciplined, made it to happen. So while some people are focusing on the girl, some people also have to focus on the boys. How do the boys have to behave? Even when you have the push, or emotions run, just like even with women. Emotions run. It's not that you wouldn't see a fine boy and something will click in you, but we are able to curtail it, because ours is right inside, but the men, once they're thinking about it, they have the ball and they believe, which is a wrong thing. They believe they cannot control it, which is wrong. They have this mindset that when this thing happens, you just have to, which is wrong. You can actually, if you are disciplined, you can actually curtail it. But that guy, I want to believe that the security operatives should go after him. They should go after him. They should go after him to teach him a lesson, and I do not know. I'm sure some people that are close to the boy will know who the girl is. So I'm looking at it that maybe the girl will also have some friends that know about the incident. Now it's in the open. She might probably be going through her own trauma and all that. She should seek help. You understand? Thankfully, her name was not mentioned, but I think that the security operatives should go after that boy, and let it also be a social media thing to nap that person. By the time we begin to do these things, gradually we will begin to sanitize. It might take a while, but if all of us handle it at our touch points, and what do I mean by that? Women and mentors, and particularly fathers, how do we raise the boys? We also have to look at that. That's one touch point. Then the second touch point is that even in the school, they have to mention it. Then the next touch point is from the government. Let us not pay lip service to these things. Once we talk about rape, let us handle it. Once it is, like we talked about, what's the name of this boy that we talked about 2 days ago or 3 days ago, that he was released. I expect that by now, the IG will have summoned the DPO of that branch. How would you allow somebody to escape? Of course, we know the guy did not escape. It was an issue of some envelopes passed. So he should be punished. How would you allow somebody to escape? Those are the things. And then the woman that was begging for what? Begging for what? In fact, the women in that environment should gang up together and go and deal with her in the sense of correcting her, that what you did is wrong. So they should tell her that if it was your own daughter that was raped, what would you do? They should sit her down and let her know that what she has done is wrong. Was it not the other day the Muslims, the businesswomen in the Muslim community, they had a stakeholders meeting, and they were telling them that, hey, don't close your eyes to evil. Don't look the other way. I love that. When are we going to get to that point that we will not look the other way? We will do what is right. And another touch point is when it gets to the security operatives, let them not look the other way. This is not something that they should say, we know how to handle it. Don't worry, you will escape. We will tell you that, by the time the IG begins to say, anybody that escapes, you yourself, you'll be replaced. People will shake up. That's the truth. That's the truth. I'm happy that we are discussing this. At least people are learning, but then that guy should be arrested. And even those that were even having fun, they were gisting with him. I am sure that they also do the same. So they need to be interrogated, because if not, one will have said, oh no, you ought not to have done that. That is very wrong. But it looks as if that is, it's fun. Can you imagine how we have been ridiculed as a woman? No, we stand up against this and we say no, we condemn it outrightly. But way forward is, let us know how to raise our boys. Let men raise, the boys, and let the women also raise, because, it's good for them to get it from different perspectives, and then, of course, the NGOs, the religious bodies, let's keep talking about these things, because if you look at it, that guy must have gone to one religious body. So what impact is that? So this is just a reawakening that we have quite a lot to do. Let us not just assume. And then, of course, when it happens, let the law come up full force. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that one. 07000 917 917. That is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. 07000 917 917. Send us a text and WhatsApp message on 0703 175 6537. Log on to our website www.wfm917.com. Download the mobile app WFM 917. Send your thoughts to our social media media platforms, WFM 917. That is how you can be a part of the conversation. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is Panorama. Panorama is that radio program where ladies from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss, dissect, and disagree on topical issues. You can be a part of the conversation by sending your thoughts via text and WhatsApp message on 0703 175 6537. My name is Blessing Agwait, and this is 28 minutes past 9 from Women Radio. And yes, my guest for today is Buki Femi Ajala. So, Buki, let's take a look at this one. Let's move away from that one. But okay, so maybe just before we move on, Buki, in a bid to ensure that we make the society safe for our women and girls, what are those things that we must do? What are our roles? Because I feel like most times we're always pinning it on government. So as individuals in the society, I know we're in that era where we say, Mabami no more meal, like it's just me, leave my child, I will be the one to discipline my child and all of that. I know that back in those days, your neighbors can scold you and your parents will not get angry. Your parents will even say thank you for scolding her. But now they tell you, oh, you don't know what I went through, to give birth to this child. You cannot do that to my child. I am the only one who is permitted to touch my child. So what is our role as parents, as community members in ensuring that we nip gender-based violence in the bud?
Thankfully, we are talking about our 16
days of activism. Yes.
Yeah. So it's even a good one to talk about it, and I know a lot of people are talking about it based on their spheres of influence, and we're doing our own quarter two in WFM. Like you mentioned, what is our role in this? Everything starts from the family. That's the truth. Everything starts from the family. And when you talk about the family, it also depends on the value of the person who is molding. Yes, I am aware that some people will lose their parents, maybe their mother or their father, or even both at an early age. But then we now have some molders, guidance, relatives, whatever it is. So I will just put everybody together, as parents and guardians. It's that point in time that you begin to mold a disciplined boy from the little things, until the boy becomes, later on when he now realizes that, oh, okay, this is what boys do. We don't have to wait until then. Even when they were young, this is not yours and you took it. No, it should be corrected that this is not yours. And then when you are taking things by force, I must have it at a younger age. At times, we parents will say, no, they have to grow. But you now need to look at it carefully. That is this a trait that this boy is beginning to have?
Buki, please, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, you might just have to call us back on 07000 917 917. That is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. 07000 917 917. Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Blessing, and also to the guest there.
Yeah, Buki.
Madam Buki. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this sensitization program.
Thank you.
I really want to appreciate the women all over wherever this kind of conversation or discussion is taking place. My name is Victor from Ikorodu.
Hi, Victor. Good to have you on the show today.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Honestly, I really feel for a lot of those girls, who have been victimized by some people, boys, yes, who for one reason or the other feel that this is their birthright. For most of them, they feel they are enjoying themselves, they're having fun, because it is what they were introduced to in the society. You see, I'm not really going to dwell much on that. But what I just want to say, if the authority can come up with a sort of punishment punishment for parents or guardians who have failed to bring up these boys, these children, in the way they're supposed to, in the way they ought to. Because I tell you, we have a lot of children in the form of parents everywhere in the society. As we're having this conversation now, it's so unfortunate that so many persons are not tuned to 91.7 or any other platform where this kind of conversation is taking place, so that they can learn and be in tune with what is happening in the society. The social media is so broad now that you hear things, you see things, and you are shocked. And yet people, after seeing all of these things, will still go ahead and carry on this dastardly act. And they'll feel nothing is happening. These institutions are failing us, the system is failing us, and then parents too, who are supposed to uphold their family and give them the best of values, do not care. There should be a kind of punishment for them, and telling them that if you are a parent and you know you're not ready to be responsible for any child, don't get married. Don't get pregnant. Because if you do that, and at the end of the day you fail these children, you'll be the one that will be held responsible. Unfortunately, we are not seeing that happening. We are not seeing that being taking place. That's why countries like China will come up with certain steps to prevent pregnancy. And they come up with strong laws that if you do anything against the government or against the public, they execute you. I'm not saying they should be executed, but they should be punished for it because they have failed these children. And people will still get pregnant, go to the hospital and put to birth. And they will not care. The other day I saw a video of a woman somewhere around Badagry. She threw a 2-month-old baby into the river. Why? Because she's tired, she's fed up. That the child has come into this world and has fulfilled its purpose. A 2-month-old baby. Where are we going? Where are we going with this kind of mentality, this kind of mindset in our world? Even the people are getting it wrong. Can't we sit down and talk to ourselves and say, as for me and my house, we will do right? Because a good name is better than gold and silver. A parent will sit down with no idea of the source of income of his boy or his daughter. They come home with something exotic and they will praise them and throw party. They will never ask them, how did you get the money? How did you get this thing? If frustration is that bad, then we should be able to tell ourselves that at some point it is getting too much and it is getting at me. I need to get back my sanity. I need to come back to my position of being able to tell truth, that this is truth, and then tell her that this is lie. So that my values and my person, my dignity will be intact. They should come up with strong punishment for parents who have failed, because I tell you, a lot of families are failing these children, and we don't know the kind of monsters we are breeding into them, because they come back to haunt us. And if we think that maybe they're not going to come back to haunt us directly, emotionally we are being affected. The society sees it in us. We know ourselves that it's killing us inside, because our children are not amounting to anything meaningful. Parents need to sit up. Parents need to wake up. Parents need to listen to programs like this and do it right for these children. If the authority, if the system is failing, if the institution is failing, family must not fail. Family, which is another institution, the highest institution, must not fail. We mustn't fail. If you're not ready to be a parent, then don't get pregnant. Don't get married. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Victor, for your thoughts on the show this morning. I mean, that was really passionate. If you don't want to give birth, if you're not ready to raise your children properly, don't even bother giving birth to them, and don't even bother getting married. All right, Buki, what do you want to say?
Yeah, I celebrate you, Victor. Thank you so much for adding, those richful perspective and thoughts. I could see, the passion.
Okay. So, Buki, we have another call. Hello, good morning.
Well, let's take it.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Grandma. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Very well.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Grandma. Nice to have you, man. Good morning, man.
Thank you. How's the family? I love your contributions. It's so inspiring. And thank you, Mr. Victor. I think you should come and speak with in a forum that this youth will come and sit down and listen. Or when WFM is handling something like this, you now come and talk to her.
Okay. All right. That is duly noted.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. You tell her that how is she?
Fine, thank you.
See, that boy, I saw the heading in my phone, but I didn't read it because I was angry that again, and not this one. You see, there is Olajide, a student. I think he has just finished at FUTA. Very creative. He's not a creative entrepreneur. He's an engineer. He studied engineering, something part of the engineering courses he did. But from loving dodo, plantain, fried plantain, he now came out. Somebody said, one of their family friends, this dodo you fry is so sweet, you can be selling it now. And from there, in the school, he started, his friends loved it, and from there, he now used, the black plantain, the unripe plantain, most people don't eat it except the diabetes patient.
Yes.
So, he's using the unripe plantain as plantain chips. He uses honey with it, and from 1 dozen pack to 2 dozen to now 1,000 packs for sale. And he's doing other things, all this IT something. A student, that one, you will see that this one is from a good home. He has a good training background, and then he's focused, unlike this boy that now raping a girl and putting it in photograph and then went viral.
And talking about it.
Because he doesn't know what to do with his life, then they can put him away, maybe for life, so that he will not continue doing this thing. Lagos State is 14 years or so. They should ask to double it for even taking the picture, the video. They should triple the years. It's so disgusting. Why his mates are focused, doing great things for themselves, inventing, manufacturing, and he is there with his mates, with his friends. Don't get him doing what I should not use this word on radio. It's so annoying. I wish I can say the boy. The DSM should bring this boy out, please. They should bring him out and all his friends.
The government is currently looking for him.
They should get him. And I know they will get him. But if he enter hole in the ground, he will come out. He will come out and say, disgrace to the parents. What Mr. Victor said, I agree that their parents or guardians too should be punished for raising irresponsible children, disgraceful children to the society. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Grandma, for your thoughts this morning. I mean, if we keep talking about this for the whole of the show today, it is worth it. Because just like Victor rightly pointed out, he was given an instance about a particular woman who threw away the child. Just this morning, I saw a particular story too about a woman, 21-year-old woman, who was arrested in Ogun State because, she gave birth to the child and then threw the child away. It was the neighbors who got to know that, okay, so this woman best this child alive, but decided to, throw the child away, and now the child is dead. So I totally agree with him that you don't give birth to a child when you know you don't need a child. You should not even get married if you know that you don't want a child, because we cannot keep having a cycle, or we cannot keep recycling bad children in the society, because if the bad children we have in the society outweighs the good children we have, our efforts are wasted, because these bad children would become a menace to the good children we have. So we have to be intentional about raising godly children. We have to be intentional about raising children who will become good ambassadors of our families and of our society as a whole. Okay.
Yeah, the grandma has spoken. And like Victor has said, Grandma has said, and I'm sure a lot of other people that are listening to are discussing it, and we're all saying the same thing. So back to what I was talking about, that okay, what are the rules and things like that? We've mentioned the issue of the people that bring, these children into the world, and peradventure one of them happens to be to die or whatever it is. The second person should actually do it. You understand? And we also need to talk to fathers, that they don't accept the responsibility of the child. They leave it to, the mother. That's your business. No, it is not the woman's business. You have abandoned your duty. I would say it openly, you are just irresponsible about that. So you should sit back and think and go back. We are moving into December. Make a change in your life and make a change in the life of the person you have brought, because they also need some input, except if all what you can give them is bad, then please just stay. Don't even go near them at all. But bottom line, the principle is, let we begin to groom our people in the way to behave. And why is it important for us to have those family values? Because you see, those family values are ingrained also in the values that you must exhibit as somebody who is in the society. You're talking about trust. You're talking about the fact that if this thing does not belong to you, you don't take it, and you don't take things by force. You understand? Because those are things that we will have to build in them when they are very young. So when they get into the society, maybe they're in school or they're in the community, that thing is in them. If this is not mine, I don't have to, go after it by force and say, I must take it by force, by fire. That is what ends up when a man feels that, yes, I want to have sex and I'm going to have it now. So if you don't give it to me, I'm going to injure you, I'm going to wound you, I'm going to tie you, whatever it is, for them to have their way. So that's one. The way forward again is also that even if they miss it in the home, they should not miss it in the school.
The school.
I don't know how they do the moral instructions, but in our own day, we had that. So I know it's embedded somewhere, but I think because of these things that we are talking about, it's more like parents have abandoned, not all parents, some parents have abandoned, their duty. So let us also see that they get it, in the school. And then, of course, I call also on the religious organizations. What are we doing? This is where we make them to know that there is God, and God has his standards. God will not tell you to go and rape a girl. God will not tell you, to brag about what you have done when you are supposed to be ashamed of yourself, and really ask God, for forgiveness, So that's that. And then, of course, media, entertainment, what have they done? There are some films that, at the end of the day, it's like, what is in this film, Seth? Are you teaching me to do something bad or whatever it is? Yes, I totally agree that there are some films that, they end up making us to realize that when you start doing bad things, you end up somewhere, and then somewhere along the line you repent or you make a drastic turn around of your values and become a better person, which is still okay. You understand? Because somebody who is already thinking of going that way will say, let me see the end of this matter. If this thing turned out like this, I don't want to. But there are some films that at the end of the day is like, hey, even music is like you're even telling them to go and do these things, and nothing. I mean, such things have to be banned. I know they do censors and all that, but I don't know how rigorous it is. And then, this is also where we come in also, because it's part of entertainment. We do information and we create awareness, because we are part of that information media. We are doing our own bit, and I know some other stations are also doing their own bit, and then society. I know it's difficult now, unlike before, that when you see someone's child do something in the society, you correct. I know it is not like that
anymore
now. Yes, I know. Because even when you want to correct, you don't even know what you are going to meet. You understand? Even when you are correcting somebody, in the society, that person might even say, please, can you mind your business? In an attempt of adopting Western ways, we have lost our values, where a young girl can talk to an adult anyhow and say, what is your own? Can you just mind your own business? That is my life and all that. But you see, the truth about it is that it still falls back to the family values. There's no way you want to talk about it. It will still end up in the family values. So I think the government should look at that. If they have to have, I don't know what the national agency or whatever is doing, we keep talking about it, probably to now look at it that how do we build a healthy society using the family unit? And then they now begin to look at it that, okay, we need to look at our curriculum in the school. Where are these things coming from? Engage the religious organizations, and then, of course, even the family, those who are going into marriages, what are they doing? Either you want to do the court wedding or you want to do the church wedding or whatever it is. What are you doing around it? Because at the end of the day, the product, of the union, somewhere along the line, you want children. How are you raising these children? How are you raising them? Because at the end of the day, they will come into this society, and we want a healthy society. The advanced countries have been able to nip it a bit because of the strong institution around it. I mean, like I told you of the guy who came to tell us his own story, I mean, even in Nigeria, it's still at the infancy stage where you can brag about it even on social media and you don't feel any remorse. You don't even know that anything can happen to you. I pray they get that guy so that it will teach everybody a lesson. And when they get it, let us also put it on social media. You understand? So that he will teach the other person too that, please, if a girl says no, is no. Even if you are already neck deep, if it's no, is no. You can retract these things. It's just an issue of a mindset, so that's it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very, very much for your thoughts on that one. I mean, that was so detailed. This is 10 minutes right before 10 from Women Radio 91.7, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. This is Panorama, where ladies from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss, dissect, and disagree on topical issues. For you to be a part of the conversation, you can call us on 07000 917 917. Send us a text and a WhatsApp message on 0703 175 6537. Log into our website www.thebfm917.com. Download the mobile app, the BFM 917. Send in your thoughts to our social media platforms, WFM 917. My name is Blessed Agbeto, and my guest for this morning is Buki Femi Ajala. Buki Femi Ajala, just before we call it a wrap on the show today, I would like us to quickly touch on this particular one. And this one is about how LUTH closed down 5 wards with 150 beds over shortage of staff as doctors and nurses relocate. Buki, at the end of the day, I feel like this is more like a mirror into what is happening across all health institutions across the country. People are leaving in droves. And at the end of the day, I read a report this morning that says that these people are leaving, but they are not getting replacement. And the government is not replacing them. The government is not employing new people. I know earlier this year there was a deliberation that there will be a 5-year, is it 5-year ban or something, or 5-year restriction that doctors will not be allowed to leave the country until after 5 years. After they are trained here, they will first of all serve Nigeria, get their license here, and then stay here for 5 years before they can relocate. That was one of the means they were trying to put in place to actually curb massive relocation. But What do we do to this? How do we get to ensure that things are done right? Because at the end of the day, when all of these doctors and nurses relocate, the citizens bear the brunt. These people who have the money, the government officials, the well-to-do, they can easily get out of the country to get something to do concerning their health. But for common man who is struggling to survive, who cannot even afford to eat 3 square meal, Iboleni at a very hospital. So at the end of the day, the person is just going to bank on government hospitals. So briefly, what do you think can be done to stop this I don't know if it is a menace or something, I don't know, but what can we do actually?
When I saw that document this morning, I was shocked, and like you said, it's a reflection of what is happening. Close down 5 words, that's 150 beds. It was last week, no, 2 weeks ago, a staff of mine called that, former staff called that the sister, they were taking her from one hospital to another hospital, from the private to Bagada to Ikeja. All this, they were mentioning it. At the end of the day, they landed somewhere at a FMC. All the there was no bed. Now, a whole LUTH is now closing down 5 words. Okay, because we do not have time, what I have to say to this is this. It's an emergency for the government. They need to look at the short run. What are the short run? There are people that have retired. They need to engage them. They need to release and open up employment portals. There are people that are still looking for jobs. I know a lot of people are doing jackpots and all that, but there are some people that are looking for jobs. So they need to begin to do massive recruitment, to these places. And then, of course, in terms of train more, and then ensure in terms of their welfare packages and things like that. They need to, so they have a short run, they have a medium run, and they have a long-term strategy. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Vicky, for being a part of the conversation. Do well to enjoy the rest of your day. Hello, Vicky.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. I got that you wanted to have, my day.
All right, thank you.
To all our listeners as well. Let's have a fulfilled day, more so that today is the last day in the month.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to December 1st.
Yes, sir.
In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah, bye. All right, let's take this message briefly just before we get to college wrap. This one says neighborliness is really challenging these days. Good morning, Panorama. As simple as correction may appear, it takes 2 to tango. For example, you see a woman backing a baby wrongly, you call her attention to it. She looks at you and continues making you feel like it's none of your business. And how do you take it to larger society? Thanks for the opportunity to contribute. Margaret from College Road, Ogba. Thank you very much for your contributions on the show this morning. Panorama will be back tomorrow at 9:05 on Women Radio 91.7 at 10. We have Radio Doctor. My name is Blessing Agweita. Thank you very much for joining me today. I love you for listening.
To sponsor this program, call the number 0816 480 7613.
WFM 91.7.